Hi everyone, my name is Katie Weaver,
Hi, I'm Talia Mendez.
and we decided to do a lesson plan on matter of solids, liquids, and gases. Our three guiding questions our four guiding questions are: what is a solid, what is a liquid, what is a gas, and what are the properties of solids and liquids and gases? And we decided our subject is science, and once again, our topic is states of matter. We decided to do a lesson for second graders, and the class period is 45 minutes long. Students will have the prior knowledge that matter is all living things and non-living things are made of matter, and matter takes up space, which we'll revisit in the beginning of our lesson just to confirm that students have this understanding. We addressed one science standard for second grade in physical science, that matter exists as different substances that have observable different properties. And just a little note that this lesson is intended to be an introduction to the three states of matter, and students will have general concepts regarding each state. So first off, we have a little introductory video that just explains to students what matter is, how there are different states of matter, both solids, liquids, and gases. It just gives them some general background information that makes this concept a little bit more understandable to them.
Okay, and then we go into just kind of quick overview of some matter basics, since that's some of the prior knowledge. And yeah, just has a couple of matter facts and goes over what it is, what it's made of with atoms and molecules. Can switch. And then we go into the first part of what is a solid. Just give a quick little description of what a solid is, and then we're going to have the students interact by just kind of brainstorming a couple objects that are solid throughout the classroom, and then they would come up to the board and just put them on through there. This one is, we're going to have all the students come up, but each student can come up to it and just place what the solid objects are into the green circle.
Then we're gonna go on to what is a liquid, basically a explanation of what a liquid is. And then same idea from what we did with the solid, we're gonna have students brainstorm and list up some things on the board of what types of things in their lives are a liquid. Then we also have another placing the different objects of what is a liquid into the goldfish, which is super cute and exciting. And so students will have an opportunity to come up to the smart board and move the objects around and place them into the correct order and patterns of what is a liquid.
And then we move on to what is a gas. So it's just the same, a quick little description of what gas is. And then as a class, go around again and just, I don't think we did that. How do we do it on here?
We forgot to, Katie forgot to put a brainstorm some gases.
Okay, so it's the same thing. Okay, we're just keeping it the same. And then the next slide. Another quick little interactive activity, the students coming up and just moving the objects into the balloon of what is a gas.
Okay, so in this slide, we're going to sort the keywords. So students will have the opportunity to basically place each of the different states of matter in the correct order, the correct definition, which will help them with their language domains and have more vocabulary practice for them.
And then right here, we're switching into the changing states and temperature. Basically just going over how matter can sometimes change between solid and liquids. And then we talk about examples of the changes. And then just kind of go around also again, keeping it the same and giving more examples of changing states and temperature.
Okay, so on this slide, we have, since we just went over phase changes and changes in state of matter, we're going to have students rank these pictures in order, in the order that they come in. So depending upon how students are thinking, we'll preface it with, we're starting with a solid. So first will be the ice cube. And then students know that you have to add heat in order to get to a liquid. And then you have to add more heat. So we have the boiling water, which will eventually end in a gas. So students can have a visual representation of what's going on when matter is being changed from one state, a liquid, to another state, which eventually, as you add more heat, will end with a gas. So this is a PhET simulator. This is a little bit advanced for second graders, since we aren't focusing on atoms specifically, but it does give students an introduction into what atoms are and how those operate when we change from one state to another. So basically this PhET simulator is just kind of an introduction for them. We can focus, we're going to focus on water. We can explain to students that all of these different substances are more advanced, and that, you know, we need oxygen to breathe, and that neon and argon are two different gases that are in different kinds of illuminating signs. So that's where they might see them, but we can tell students that they're going to focus on water here. And basically with this PhET simulator, students can change what types of atoms that they're seeing. So they can have solid atoms, what atoms that are in the liquid state look like, and then what atoms in the gaseous state look like. And they can also go ahead, they have a nice little thermometer here that shows them what temperature this system is at. And basically the main goal of this is that they can see when you add heat, the temperature will increase, obviously, which they can see, and then they can see what's happening with the atoms as heat is applied, or when cold is applied. So they have the general idea that atoms are slowing down as substances are cooled and they're compressing, and as substances are heated up, the atoms start to move more quickly, which contributes to these phase changes. That's the general idea that we're going for, just an introduction for students to kind of understand what's going on at the molecular level. As second graders, I don't think that they'll be expected to have any more knowledge than that at that time.
Okay, and then since we just went over changing and states and temperature, we created like this quick little game for the students to choose the correct arrows that shows the certain phase that we're going over. So in this one, it's choose the arrow that shows melting. Then we have from the solid to liquid, and then they would come up and just click the correct arrow for that. And then we go into just choosing the arrow that shows freezing. And the same thing, they just come up to it and click the correct arrow. And then another one for vaporizing.
All right, and then we have another activity for students, another matching activity, just to confirm and basically help them to have a solid and concrete understanding of these definitions, more language practice, just to really solidify their understanding of what these three different terms mean. They can just go ahead and match them up, and it will give them the correct answers or the incorrect answers. So they can have a couple tries at that if they need. So now we're just going to basically break into a fun little activity for the students. They're gonna travel around the classroom and they're going to look for different objects that they see and what state of matter that they are in. So this will give them an even more real world example of the things that are around them in the classroom that they can identify right then and there. Oh, this is a solid, this is a liquid, and this is a gas. Gases might be a little bit more difficult for the students at that time, just because most gases, you can't see them, they're clear. So we may have to give a little bit of scaffolding, a little bit of help for students if they're struggling with that.
And right here, we just have included another little interactive activity for the kids. It's kind of the same as from the beginning. Students would just come up and sort these objects into the correct categories, move them around, put in into either whether it's a solid, a liquid, or a gas.
And also on this activity, I did use an infinite cloner. So if some students are like, oh, cola, the bottle itself is a solid, but the liquid inside is actually a liquid. So I did use the infinite cloner just in case students are, they're not sure of where they should put one thing because it could be both. And then just a quick little check for understanding, asking students how they feel about this topic, if they have any questions, if they're still confused about anything. This will give them an opportunity to basically ask any questions that they have, or get any extra help that they may need. Then in the end, we just have a quick little monster quiz, a good check for understanding, and basically there's no students, so we can't look at it, but just the main ideas of this lesson, a quick formative assessment to see how they all are understanding this concept, and if there's anything that we need to review or go over again. And that is our presentation. Got anything else, Talia?
No.
Okay.